What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and we have a little bit of some breaking news coming out today regarding infrastructure, stimulus, and Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi. This is your stimulus check update and your stimulus package update. Now, as you guys know, right now, Congress is working on the infrastructure package, and there's two parts to it, right? The first part, it has $1 trillion that has been designated for roads, bridges, highways, traditional infrastructure like you typically think. Now, also, there's a second portion that's been added to this, and they're calling it human infrastructure. And basically, this is going to be the next stimulus package. Now, they've allocated $3.5 trillion to be included in that stimulus package, and this is going to be provisions and money that's basically going to be going to people. Now, as you guys know, there has been a lot of division and fighting going on. The first portion is getting passed with Democrats and Republicans through the traditional means, and we already saw the Senate go ahead and pass it. However, we heard Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi say, don't even bother sending it over to the House of Representatives. You just hold it in the Senate until you get that second portion for stimulus completed, and then send them both over together. And that's because she's a little bit concerned that they're not going to have a stimulus package if they don't send them both over together, and she holds that first portion ransom, because that stimulus package, it does not have any Republican support, and we're having issues with Democrats in the Senate, moderates and progressives, coming to an agreement on what should be included. And they're going to be passing this through the process of reconciliation, which means that they're going to do it with a simple majority vote. However, it's not so simple because they can't get Democrats to agree upon it. But if they can agree on something, they can go ahead and pass it over to the House along with that infrastructure bill. Now, we actually have a major update that just came out today. But last week, we had seen this. Take a look. Pelosi says bad news for moderate Democrats. There will be no vote on the first portion, that infrastructure bill, this month. So she said, go ahead and take your time, get stimulus done. Once it's ready, then you can send them over and we'll progress in September. But then we had the breaking news just recently come out. Take a look at this. Moderates vow to block the budget to secure infrastructure funding. So then we had Democrats in the House of Representatives in Nancy Pelosi's chamber come out and say, we are going to derail the stimulus if you don't pass infrastructure first. Pass infrastructure now, or when stimulus does come, we will vote against it. So Nancy Pelosi is battling Democrats in the Senate. Now she's battling them in her own House. And we've got moderates and progressives all over the place in the Democratic Party. And it seems like things are kind of up in the air with stimulus. Well, take a look at this. Just came out 2 hours ago. Breaking news coming out. Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi looks at advancing infrastructure, you guys. That's right. So now she's saying, all right, we can go ahead and pass this through. But wait, there's more. And budget framework simultaneously. So she's kind of switched it up a little, give to get, and that is, we'll go ahead and pass infrastructure, but we also need the Senate to go ahead and pass through the blueprint, the framework for this onto the House as well, you guys. So, man, switching things up. This just came out today, 2 hours ago, and here's the subtitle. Shift in tactics comes after moderate House Democrats demand quicker vote on bipartisan infrastructure bill. And those of you that follow me here on the channel know we reported on this. We had 9 people in the House of Representatives, Democrats, come out and say, we will destroy stimulus unless you pass infrastructure first. And it looks like Nancy Pelosi is kind of bending a little bit to their will, you guys. So I'm going to dive into this article that just came out, get you caught up on the latest as of today, Sunday, August 15th, 2021. So you know what's going on in Congress with infrastructure and stimulus. Now, before we dive in, though, if you could do me a quick favor, just takes a second. If you like and appreciate these updates, don't forget to just smash that like button. I would appreciate it. Just takes a second. Really helps me out a ton. Thank you so much. Also, leave your comments down below. I love hearing your thoughts on this stuff. And also share this out on social media platforms if you think it's going to help out other people as well. Thank you so much. That really helps me out a ton. And also, if this is your first time here, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and you can join the Ram fam, and I'll keep you up to date on all this stuff so you know what's happening. And if you got any specific questions for me, be sure to shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. That is by far the best way to get a hold of me directly if you got any specific questions that you want answered. But with that being said, you guys, let's dive into this article so I can get you caught up as to what they're saying is unfolding right now today as we're seeing this massive battle take place in Congress amongst Democrats trying to agree on what will come forth with infrastructure and the next stimulus package. All right, you guys, so link in the description below to this article that just came out 2 hours ago, so you can read it for yourself and see that I'm not just making random stuff up. Now, the article says, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi on Sunday, today, she asked a top committee to look at moving forward on the $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill, along with, though, the $3.5 trillion budget framework in an effort to balance the demands of her party's ideological factions. Now, the request came after 9 centrist House members said Thursday that they will not consider voting for a budget resolution until the House approves the infrastructure bill. So you guys, man, so looks like she's starting to bend to their will a little bit, and she's saying that she wants to go ahead and have them pass this through. However, she also wants to see progress on the stimulus package. Now, the threat complicated the timeline of Mrs. Pelosi had previously set. Now, she has said that the infrastructure package wouldn't move ahead until the Senate passed the $3.5 trillion anti-poverty and healthcare legislation. Progressives have demanded that the two move on parallel tracks to guarantee their priorities, because they're concerned that if they pass infrastructure, that somehow stimulus is going to get derailed because we can't have Democrats are not agreeing on what should be included. And also we've got Republicans that are giving no support at all. So we literally need almost every single Democrat on board in the Senate and in the House to get this through. Now, I have requested that the Rules Committee explore the possibility of a rule that advances both the budget resolution and the bipartisan infrastructure package. This will put us on path to advance the infrastructure bill and the reconciliation bill, Ms. Pelosi said in a letter on Sunday today. Now, passage of such a rule is expected to move the infrastructure bill forward procedurally, but not pass it, according to an aide from Ms. Pelosi. So they're going to pass it procedurally, but not officially. And it says the House will be back in session August 23rd to consider legislation. It wasn't immediately clear, though, if the request would satisfy those moderate members. So we're likely going to be hearing from them here very shortly and see whether this is approved by them, or they're saying this is not going to work. Now, the Senate passed the infrastructure legislation on Tuesday, and then the budget framework earlier on Wednesday morning. That was the first step in what is expected to be the lengthy process that isn't expected to get any Republican votes, unless that is for the next $3.5 trillion stimulus package. Now, jumping down in the article, it says that the budget package is set to offer federal paid leave benefits, universal pre-kindergarten, 2 free years at community college, and expanded Medicare to covering hearing, dental, and vision care, among other provisions. And Democrats have said they also plan to allow Medicare to negotiate for lower drug prices and implement a raft of climate proposals, including a series of energy tax incentives and a program to push the U.S. to receive 80% of its electricity from clean sources by the year 2030. Now, they have also said that they intend to fully offset the cost of the proposal, but the ways in which they plan to raise the revenue are themselves controversial, including increasing taxes on the wealthiest Americans and corporations. Now, you guys, we currently have the blueprint, what's proposed for this stimulus package. However, we're seeing proposals like almost every single day now, it seems, for new provisions. And we're going to see what gets included because, as we've seen with stimulus packages in the past, literally days before the official bill gets passed into law, we've seen provisions added in for stimulus checks, for other things. And we're going to see, because right now as it stands, this stimulus package does not include a 4th federal level stimulus check, but there are calls to have it included. That does not include at this time an extension of the federal unemployment benefits for PUA, PEUC, and the $300 per week boost, which are all set to expire September 6th. However, right now, we're seeing Delta cases across the nation ramp up, and we're seeing new mandates and requirements being enforced in different cities and different businesses and places around the nation. So we're going to see, because if we see more and more of this occur, it's very likely we might need to see more stimulus provisions like that included or extended out. Now, whatever gets included, I'll be sure to let you guys know here on the channel and keep you up to date. But right now, this is a big move for stimulus and infrastructure, what we heard today from Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, and as more unfolds, I'll be sure to share so that way you know what's going on. But you guys, that is the latest. I hope it was informative and helpful. I'll be sure to keep you up to date. Thank you so much for joining me here on the channel, and if you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget to take a second to smash that like button. I would appreciate it. Just takes a second, really helps me out a ton, tells YouTube I'm doing a good job, and in turn they might share this out with other people. Also, if this is your first time here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, and I'll keep you up to date on all this stuff. And come join the Ram fam, the viewing community, by doing so. And if you got any specific questions for me, be sure to shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. But with that being said, you guys, hope this reaches you well. I'll catch you in the next videos. Hope you and your family have a blessed Sunday. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.